Hey everybody, this is Amanda Schmidt with Snappy New Day Art. How's it going? Let's paint some popsicles. So yep, that's what we're painting. We're painting one of my favorite things to paint. I love bringing these out every year in the summer. It's definitely that time of year for popsicles and all that kind of good stuff, right? Popsicles, ice cream, all that good stuff. All the stuff that's totally calorie-free, right? Well, these will be calorie-free, so there you go. If you're craving a popsicle and you don't want to, use those calories or those points, these are calorie-free. Zero point popsicles. There you go. So what is really fun about this project, here, let me show you. What's really fun about painting these popsicles is that you get to totally play around with color. There's no wrong way to do them. Those are my favorite kinds of projects. And there are just so many ways, so many combinations of colors, of whatever. So I'm going to show you how to draw them, and then I'm going to show you how to paint them. And yeah, well, let's get started, all right? So pop on and say hi, and let me know your favorite popsicle flavor, or your favorite place to get popsicles, or your favorite kind of popsicles. I guess there's a lot to know about popsicles. Really, it's more than just flavors, right? Because you can only get certain flavors in certain, places. Here in St. Louis, we have a bakery on Cherokee Street. I don't know if you're in the area, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's called Whisk, and they make the most amazing popsicles. Like, some of them are even like avocado flavor and like crazy flavors, but they're amazing. So it's been a while since I've been up there. I kind of craving one of their popsicles. So that's one thing too. When you're doing these popsicles, you can get your inspiration from ones that you've had, ones that you would want to have, all that good stuff. All right, so I'm going to show you how to draw them first, and then we'll paint them. So as far as drawing them, there's a few, here, let's turn this way. There's a few different ways you can draw them. You can do the traditional way, which is just basically an upside down U. I like to kind of make the top a little bit flatter, so I round off the edges, so something like that. Okay, and then we can always add a stick later. You can do more of a bomb pop, which is like you do a smaller U, and then you curve out, and then you bring the sides down. That can be a bomb pop. Okay. And then another way to do these is to draw it with like a bite taken out of it. So you can do your traditional, shape, upside down U shape, but then you can make a little scalloped edge here and then erase it. And there you go, and you have a bite taken out of your popsicle. So any of those are really great examples. Or you could do, one thing you could do too is, although I've never understood the whole twin pop thing. The twin pops that are like stuck together. I never understood, because like they're stuck together, and heaven forbid you like actually try and break it apart. One usually gets like, it's like a wishbone where one like takes all of it and the other one just like leaves the stick. Like, who thought of that? That's really crazy. Like, you can't really share a twin pop, but you could do a twin pop. Okay, and I'll show you how to do some of the details with a little bit of shading here in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is draw a, how about this? I'll do my bomb pop, okay? And then I'll do another traditional one with a bite taken out of it. So I need ideas for flavor. So if you have a favorite flavor, just let me know, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to, I kind of started one. I'm letting it dry, or it is dry. I'll show you on that one how to do the details in a little bit. So you just hang on to this one here in a second. I'm going to wet my paper, or what? Yeah, I'm going to wet my paper. Oh no, my brush was not clean. Hello. Apparently there was some black still in it from my last project. Oh well, that's okay. We'll just have a little bit of gray in it. But I am wetting my paper all over inside the shape of the popsicle. These are really cute, especially if you're going to do, these would really be great for like a little card of some kind. There's all kinds of popsicle puns, I'm sure. Let me think if I can think of one. Like you could say like, I'm sweet on you maybe? I don't know. There's probably a bunch out there. All right, so to do a traditional bomb pop. So I believe it's red, white, and then a blue. So it's kind of striped out. So I'm going to grab some red. And a lot of times popsicles are real kind of soft looking. So I'm going for a real soft look, which is why I wet the paper first. So I'm going to plop in my red. And I'm not going to paint the whole thing. I'm just going to kind of blob it in. So I can kind of make it look like it's just icy and yummy, okay? So same down here, I'm going to take some blue and drop it in. Ooh, that was a lot of blue. The paper's not wet enough. Here, I'm going to clean off my, usually if I wet my paper enough, the paint just kind of goes, but apparently I didn't do that. And that's okay, you can always go back in and add a little bit more. There we go. See how it made it nice and soft looking? That's what we want. And so I just kind of pull it where it seems like a stripe would be started. So there you go, there's our bomb pop. Now let's do one that has a bite taken out of it. So this one, I think I'm gonna be doing like a watermelon. Okay, so I'm gonna do a stripe of like a pink, and then leave a white stripe, and then do a green, so it kind of looks like something totally not natural, like what you would get totally at the grocery store. But it's gonna be cute. So I'm gonna wet my paper, and this time I'm gonna really make sure I have enough water on there. That is always something I wouldn't say you're fighting with, but in watercolor, you're always kind of trying to figure out how much water to use, either in your paint or on your paper. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you don't have enough, and then you can just add more. Okay. So my paper is plenty shimmery, so I know I have enough. All right, so I'm gonna grab some of that, actually I'm gonna grab some pink. Bright, bright pink. I need to get some more of this. I'm running very low, and this is my favorite pink. But I think it looks very watermelon-ish. That's like the fake watermelon, like at the grocery store watermelon. Normal watermelons do not look that pink from what I've seen in my life. All right, so we're gonna leave that. And you can even kind of move your paper a little bit and let it kind of flow, but I'm not too worried about it. Make sure I have enough water down here. And now I'm going to put a little bit of green. So let's grab some green. Okay, there we go. Fun. Okay, so now I'm going to let these two dry because they're very wet. And actually this one Sometimes you might find that your paint has puddled a little bit, and I don't want it to really do that. So I'm going to take a dry brush and pick up some of that puddle that started to happen. Because if you leave that, if there's too much paint in it, it'll kind of dry funky, and you don't necessarily want that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do some details on, oh, I forgot the stick. We need to paint our stick. So basically it's the opposite shape. I'm just going to put down some yellow or brown, whatever colored stick you would like. There you go. And then I'm going to leave that. But now I'm going to show you how to do some really cool details on your popsicle. Now you could leave them as is. They look totally cute as they are. But what I want to do is add a little bit of detail. Now you can do this with either watercolor pencil or color pencil, because in my opinion, a lot of times they look the same on the paper, but the difference between watercolor pencil and regular colored pencil is that when you add water to the watercolor pencil, it'll dissolve, but not necessarily with a colored pencil. You can use them both drawing-wise the same way, though. All right, so I'm going to grab a purple, okay, and on my popsicle, what I'm basically doing is putting in some of those little, usually there's like little dents down a popsicle, so that's what we're shooting for. We're gonna kind of add in a little bit of like shading, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of go down and make kind of a L, a big L. You can add a side to it if you want. See how that looks? I picked a purple that was very similar to the purples I used in this popsicle. But sometimes I like to add details without watercolor. So this is a really good example of how you can do that. All right, so really lightly first. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. Not easily anyway. You could probably erase it a little bit with an eraser, but if you can avoid that, I would. Okay, so yeah, you can just stay with that detail-wise. You can come over here and add some detail, like, I mean, some shading on kind of the side, as if you were kind of looking at it like an angle. That is cool. Okay, there you go. It doesn't have to be much, just a little bit. See how that little bit of color pencil like totally gave it a little bit of like depth, right? So I do like to. Now I will say there are probably a lot of traditional watercolor people that are like, no. I like using more than one. Oh, hey Rhonda, I'm just kind of finishing up actually. I like to use more than one medium sometimes, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, some things can just be a little bit non-traditional. All right, so actually what I'm going to do before I go is add on some, where did my brush go? I guess that was it. I'm going to add the popsicle sticks to the rest of my popsicles. So same thing we did earlier. I'm going to take some of my, oops, that's a lot, my paint. So this is, I just use like a yellow color, and draw my outline, wash off my brush a little bit, and then move around that paint. Okay. This is very similar to what I did for our hibiscus the other day. We outlined it in the paint, and then we filled in the rest with some water And it turned out really good. Okay, so there's that. Oops. And there we go. All right. That is pretty much it, guys. So as far as the shading, you can do the same thing on the Bomb Pop as on the purple one I just did. Okay. So actually, why don't we do this? I'll dry the Bomb Pop and do some more shading. Okay. Okay, so now for the Bomb Pop, if you're doing the traditional, well, I guess it's kind of round, but whatever. We're going to do the same kind of shading like before. Since it's multiple layers, basically, what I'm going to have to do is grab a red and shade the red part with the red. Go down into the white a little bit, and then grab my blue again. See, which blue do I want? Okay. And then do my blue. So I certainly wouldn't have red shading on the blue section. That's crazy. All right, now let's do the same thing. We're going to grab our red. And maybe switch over to the blue. Okay, and I can add a little bit of shading to the side here. Yeah. Kind of give it an edge, and then I'm going to move over to my red. Blend those together a little bit. There we go. Kind of just go and go and go with the color pencils. But this is these are a really great way to, oh, have fun. Rhonda's going to the beach later. This is a really great way to kind of play around with some colored pencils. I love using colored pencils. And I go through spurts where I'll use them a lot, and then I'll kind of put them away and go, wait a minute, I want to use my colored pencils. All right, guys, so yeah, this is really fun to play around with color. So if you want to get inspired by a certain flavor, you can use those colors. Like if you did strawberry banana, you could do yellow and reds or something like that. You could do you could do like cocktail popsicles, like a pina colada, where it would be like mostly white, and then you could add in a little bit of like yellow for coconut. Yeah, pina coladas are coconut. Or maybe a mojito where you could do like some green. Ooh, that would be good. So yeah, go wild. You can make as many as you like. These are really addictive, much like regular popsicles. But painting them is addictive too. So I'll see you guys later. Go ahead and have fun. Oh, and I don't know what happened to it, but sign up for my watercolor tie-dye free tutorial. So I'm going to put the link in the description. And if you want another really easy, colorful project for anybody about any skill level, that tutorial is totally free, and you can sign up and grab it. And it's really fun. Watercolor tie-dye. It is like one of my favorite things to make with watercolor. It's such a great thing. Pineapple coconut. Ooh, yeah. That sounds really good, actually. Thanks, guys. All right. Have fun with your popsicles, and I will see you later.